Happy Monday. Are we out of the negative temperatures yet? We're working our way up. It's -9. Now it's -8. All right.
Maybe by the end of the show.
By the end of the show, I think we're supposed to get above 0. 10 a.m., I'm reading it's going to be 4. And then by this afternoon, like in the 20s. This deep freeze is actually leaving. So say goodbye.
40 tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe as high as 40.
Windows down tomorrow.
Right. Get out on the patio, do some grilling.
Sure.
803-0550 is our number. The Seahawks win the Super Bowl. They beat the Patriots, as many should have expected. Seattle is a great team all year. New England had a little bit of a rabbit's foot, or whatever your lucky charm is you like to use. Horseshoe of the rabbit's foot. What else? What else is the lucky?
4-leaf clover.
Sure. Mm-hmm. They got handled. And Will Campbell did not speak with the media after the game. The left tackle that gave up 14 quarterback pressures.
Uh-oh.
Got to trade him.
He was the 3rd overall pick?
Yeah.
Right? Fourth overall pick.
It's tough. Imagine it's your rookie season. Yeah. You're still kind of like learning a lot. Like, here's the Super Bowl. Oh, you had one of the worst games the left tackles had ever.
Yeah.
Tough for him.
Did he have a bad year overall, though, really? He kind of was.
He was hurt a little bit. He got hurt later in the year and missed some time.
Yeah, I wonder if there's going to be somebody, like if he's even pretty good, but he's not like an all-world tackle talent, which he still could end up being. Will there be somebody behind him where it's like, oh, this was your last time picking that high, and you didn't get an elite. Like, I think maybe like a more extreme version of like Ed Oliver a little bit. Like the Bills draft Ed Oliver in the top 10. Like, that's the last time you're going to pick here.
Yeah.
So better hit it. And he's good, but he's not elite. He's not all pro level talent. And right now, I don't know if there is a guy that's right. I mean, Tet McMillan.
He went 4th.
So like Tet McMillan might be the guy eventually here, but
yeah, but they want to tackle to protect Drake May, so yeah, we'll see. 803-0550. What do you take away from it? What's your lesson? Anything you want here?
Entertainment wise, it was the worst. It was the worst Super Bowl since I think Seattle, Denver. I would say
pretty bad.
There was nothing. I mean, it was. What was it? Was it 9:20 when the first touchdown was scored?
Yeah,
like 3 hours after kickoff before we finally got a touchdown. And, halftime show was long and, some things are dragged out. But, man, we just didn't get any action, no tense plays, nothing.
It felt like a game, and Collinsworth said this during the broadcast, I think we're going to get a defensive battle here. You very well could have pictured, a 17-6 final score or something like that. It kind of exploded late at the end there. He also said, I wish I'd written down the number, maybe 8 minutes left in the second quarter. This sequence right here could decide this game. I'm like, buddy. There's 8 minutes left in the second quarter. New England's backed up at their own 5 on a second down play.
Uh-huh.
Maybe. It kind of did feel like a defensive touchdown might have been New England's best chance.
Yeah.
So they were overmatched, as many had predicted. I do think we will now enter the era. And I mean, listen, we've been rivals with the Patriots before, one-sided. Is everyone ready for what has now begun, which is if you're on Twitter, there are 3 main conversations happening on Twitter at all times. I expect Bills and Patriots fans to be fighting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for the next 8 years.
Uh-huh.
The fight is on because May looked terrible. May had a bad postseason. You might even go so far as sure, he made a Super Bowl, but he wasn't good at all. Anywhere.
No, none of those games.
He had a terrible postseason and got carried to the Super Bowl, which means, of course, Bills fans will say that to Patriots fans, and Patriots fans will say, yeah, but your guy never made a Super Bowl, and then they'll just yell at each other nonstop for 8 years until Allen gets there. That's my next prediction is this rivalry is going to the next level, which is good. I mean, that's entertainment value. But the game itself was rough. I mean, you didn't get star players making star plays. When there's an honest conversation about whether or not the kicker is going to win the MVP, you're in a bad spot.
At one point, he was the 3rd favorite.
Okay.
I think Walker was always going to get it, right? He cracked 100 yards in the 3rd quarter, and it was okay, it's got to be him.
It's got to be him.
Nobody else you're going to give it to.
He had a big catch.
He was the only one doing anything in the first half at all, which got them out in front. The other thing about New England is they have the same needs as the Bills, right? Like they're going to be in the pass rusher market.
They're going to be in the Max Crosby market.
They're going to maybe be in the receiver market. Like their needs are similar to the Bills. So the rivalry is on, and I think that starts this offseason. Like in terms of like how the teams are about to be built and what they're going to be chasing. Like is Crosby going to come down to Bills and Patriots? Like 2 of the final 5 teams that might be in on him. There's already Rossini saying that he wants to play for Vrabel, right? And I'm sure if someone asked him a question about playing with Josh Allen, he probably would say the same
yes.
thing.
Yep.
So I feel like Bills and Patriots on that front too is about to really fire things up.
I'll get you a Max Crosby update here. Las Vegas Review-Journal asking him about that and how he spoke out about the idea of a trade. So we'll get to that in a minute. Get to Mo in New Jersey up next, though. Hey, Mo, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Make it very clear, last night's outcome was by far the best result as a Bills fan. But we now got to live in a world where Sam Darnold has a Super Bowl trophy and Josh Allen hasn't even been to the Super Bowl. That being said, you guys just touched on the point I wanted to make. You know, the Patriots are going to be in the market for the same thing as the Bills. For me, this offseason is 100% about Brandon Beane. I think he's a great cap guy, but from an evaluation standpoint, I don't think he's that good. From a drafting standpoint, bringing in free agents, I feel like there's been way more misses than there's been hits. So for me, going forward, it's going to be about what can we do to make this roster better, stuff for free agency in about a month, and then draft 2 months from now. So I'm going to be paying attention closely to everything that Brandon Beane does, because there's no more excuses for him. I used to be his biggest fan. Now he's a villain in my eyes, and he's got to prove to me that he could do what John Schneider just did. He took 2 completely different teams to win the Super Bowl, and we haven't been to one. So the pressure's on, in my opinion, Brandon Beane from here on out.
All right, thanks, Mo.
I mean, building a roster that is near as good as Seattle's outside of the quarterback position is the thing that I think everyone's been wanting for 3 years now, at least. And I don't really feel like they've come all that close to it. Their defense has never been as talented as Seattle's is right now, right?
Nope.
And offensively around their quarterback, I wouldn't say that it's ever been to the level that Seattle's is right now either. It was when you had Diggs, Beasley, Brown, Sanders. Like, you had a couple of years there offensively, you probably had that, but not since then. Your line's great, but what about having a line, a running game? I mean, they ran the ball more than anybody in football this year, like neutral situation. So Seattle ran it. They weren't like the best run team, but they were fine, good enough. And they also have elite weapons, or at least one elite weapon, and then good ones around it. So, like that level of roster, you build that around Josh Allen, you should win the Super Bowl.
Well, that's where, like, the Bills never get to talk to Clint Kubiak about their job, but they have a great defense and a great offense. They have both. And that's where, like, for me, I don't want to get too carried away in the game against New England. Talk about other games, too. Flip the order. Pretend the Patriots game had been the NFC Championship game and the Rams game is the Super Bowl. What's the takeaway? Right? You have to win all your games on the way. They're the 1 seed. How'd they get the 1 seed? They beat the Rams 38-37 in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
They have a great offense and a great defense. They also acted at the deadline. They had the best receiver in football, arguably. They have the offensive player of the year. What do they add at the deadline? Another receiver, because Kubiak obviously is looking at it and thinking, I want to be able to make sure I can stretch certain ways.
Yeah.
We can be more vertically threatening. And Shaheed gave them that. He also gave them juice in the punt return game. A.J. Barner's a nice player for them. Like, they have a lot going for them. And Darnold, for his part, like, he's not an elite quarterback. He's pretty good. And he showed some good escapability yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing about, like, Seattle to me screams that they have to be sustainably good. They could have lost to the Rams this year, and it's Matthew Stafford winning another Super Bowl.
The Rams are like the only. I mean, I saw this morning that they allowed the Seahawks defense allowed more than 24 points 3 times all year, and 2 of them were to the Rams.
Yeah,
like the Rams had the ability to, or actually no, sorry, it was two times. Yeah, it was the Rams. They just won the games. That was it. They didn't lose either of the games. They gave more than 24.
They won those games. The Seattle Seahawks did with 38 and 31.
Right.
So, like,
Right. And then the only other time they allowed more than 24, they allowed 38 to Tampa in week 5. You get it back to October. Right. That's it. Every other game this year, their defense was great and held the other offense in check, and they played some good offenses along the way.
And,
so,
on Bean, I don't think Brandon Bean has to be a villain for you if you're a Bills fan. I'm not sure if he's a great cap guy. Is he a great cap guy? I mean, they're always up against the cap. What they need to be doing is probably make tougher decisions. This is where McGovern and David Edwards come in. It's time to... Last year they had 5 guys they could have signed, and they signed all 5. And this is an offseason where maybe they don't sign the guys that they would sign.
Yeah, I would stop short of saying that about the cap for him because they have the combination of no elite players and no cap space. I don't want to give you like cap wizard.
Right, other than Allen.
And
maybe...
And, to me, that doesn't make you a cap wizard. That just says you're going to just pay your pretty good draft picks no matter what.
Yeah, which they've done. 803-0550, 1-888-550-2550. On Max Crosby, can I give you a one-word update? I'm going to add one word into something from Diana Rossini about Crosby with it does change things. So she wrote yesterday at the 2 days ago at the Athletic what she's hearing about Max Crosby and some other stuff around the league like Belichick and Kraft. But on Crosby, she wrote, Crosby once told me he'd love to play for Mike Vrabel. I was under the impression that was very recent.
Me too.
It's not. Now that it's he once told me this.
That could have been 5 years ago.
Exactly. So
that is very different.
It could still be very true.
Yeah. She said it a week ago as though that had just been a conversation.
Right. He said he'd like to play for, but he once told me that probably means he's in Tennessee at the time.
Right, honestly.
Or maybe when he got the job in New England, what do you think of that hire? Oh, I'd like to play for that guy.
Right.
It seems like the kind of guy I'd like to play for. It to me is immediately less direct of this player's trying to get his way to New England. Mm-hmm. So,
but they are a destination now, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Much more than they have been.
I think so. Dave in Niagara. Hey, Dave.
Hey, how are you guys? Couple of points. Why didn't they target Diggs more often? That's number one. Number 2, why didn't they pan the TV to show Kraft's face once in a while? Because I wanted to see his face while his team is losing, like they do with Taylor Swift. And number 3, what did you guys think of the halftime show?
Thanks, Dave.
I love the halftime show. I don't know why they weren't throwing to Diggs more often. Were they taking away the middle of the field? Because he's slot and underneath now, and right, he made one catch down the field in garbage time.
I thought the reason they weren't throwing at really anybody is because Drake May was very uncomfortable. I read a piece from Connor Orr that the Seahawks, what they dialed up, what they did in this game was intentional. So the plan for May was simple. Connor Orr writes this. Mix coverages early and often and get a critical sack early by playing man coverage slipped in. What they wanted to do, they called the 2 Devin Witherspoon blitzes early in the game, hoping to rattle May as soon after kickoff as possible. Mm-hmm. So the game plan was, let's hit him early. Let's make sure we speed up his internal clock. He's 23? Mm-hmm. How many NFL games has he played? And he's on the biggest stage against a great defense with an undermanned line. If they can get him ahead of schedule, they'll be in a good spot. The Seahawks defense installed a number of calls for the line throughout the week and gave the team's front 4 the freedom to decide what they wanted to employ. As one coach said, they were able to figure out where the Patriots line was sliding its protections and pick the appropriate stunt or game, a blanket term coaches use for a series of coordinated movements based on those predictions. So Seattle's defense, again, was awesome.
Yeah.
They were also able to, break down what New England's line was going to do and get all over Drake May all the time.